The shoulders are some of the strongest and most defined muscles on the human body. Not only do they improve your physique, they're also incredibly functional for athletes of various sports. And I'm gonna show you the best exercises that you can use to build those Brock Lesnar-like traps, and we're gonna start right now. So a great exercise that you can use to monsterizing your traps is actually gonna be using a type of curl, but not just any curl. I wanna see a little bit of elbow flexion with using those big time traps. So what we're gonna do here is a drag curl, okay? So I wanna do long freaking sets. If we're talking about the traps, we need to really put a long period of time under tension. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a little bit forward lean and I'm gonna come up, okay? Here, like this. And it's almost gonna be a dumbbell bent over row, but not entirely because we're gonna still be vertical. So we're here, and when we get to the top, we wanna think about bringing those freaking traps to your ears. So I'm here setting them nice and long with the traps, and then I'm gonna come up, boom.
German suplex.
Boom.
Come on, another German suplex.
Boom.
Enough already, another German to Cena.
Boom. Now, I wanna do those long sets like I mentioned. So let's say every single set, 17 reps. Now, I'm here, okay? Let's say I do 3 sets. I'm gonna get my garage strength weightlifting straps, okay? Available at garagestrength.com. And what I wanna do now is let's pretend I hit those 3 sets, right? So the next thing that I wanna do to prevent those forearms from burning out is line these up, okay? And now I don't even have to worry about my forearms. I'm just doing long time under tension. A gargantuan set here of 50. Remember, as we come down here, lengthen those traps, come up, lengthen, come up, lengthen, come up. 50 reps. So the big thing here is a slight chest forward, drag curl. Think about pulling that into your armpit, okay? Curling into the armpit, but really it comes down to those traps to the ears. Oh gosh. So increasing muscle mass and strength happens in a few different ways, like inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. Early in the week, we're gonna focus on power and strength development. Later in the week, we're gonna focus on hypertrophy. And that's where the mechanics of the traps are gonna come into play to increasing that big time muscle mass. But how can we actually achieve that increase? Creating muscle mass and strength happens in 4 different ways. So that first way, that's gonna be mechanical tension. Think about putting more weight on the bar. When you put more weight on the bar, your body is aware of that increase in load and it will make that adaptation. That second way, this is going to be metabolic stress, okay? So think about if we're doing some occlusion training like Katsu on my biceps, I'm gonna get some metabolites. After I remove that occlusion tool, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of metabolites to come in and help grow that muscle. That third way, this is gonna be based off of muscular damage, okay? So this is probably that old school, your phys ed teacher back in high school probably always said, when you lift weights, you tear them down and you build them back up. This isn't always how it happens, but it does happen to a point, especially during those slower eccentric training methods. We will break down some muscle, then we'll proliferate some satellite cells, we'll come in and we'll get them bigger. That fourth key factor, this is gonna happen from neurological stimulation, okay? So think about making your muscles learn how to recruit more effectively, making your muscles learn how to recruit everything that they have at their disposal. Think about this as smarter muscles. So if we can train more explosively, that's gonna lead to greater strength and greater size potentially. But what does this all have to do with the traps and monsterizing? The traps are slow twitch muscles. Think about Shin Godzilla or Godzilla -1 just stomping across those cityscapes, nice and slow. The traps also protect your neck. Because it can be hard to lengthen the traps, this is why they need a lot of time under tension. So long time under tension is gonna be key for growing those big time traps. Now, one factor here is that you don't want your grip to be a limiting factor. And this is gonna be a theme consistently visited throughout this entire video. What we're gonna do here is going to be an upright row, and I can already sense all of the comments. What about your shoulder joints? Upright row is gonna destroy you. So a typical upright row might look like this, okay? Here, and this is what we used to do back in the day, way before everybody was on Instagram and on social media saying that upright rows were the absolute worst thing for your shoulders and you should never do them. We would actually do them, and we would be perfectly fine. Now, if we have somebody who does have issues with doing an upright row, okay? So they're here, or you can be even here. We used to do these as well. Okay, if you can't do those two variations, one thing that you can do is you can get these sweet straps at GarageStrength.com and you put your hands through them like this. I go here, boof, 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 boof. Some of that impingement, pain, or discomfort in the shoulder can actually be related to your shoulder joint. It could also be related to big time ego lifting with terrible technique. But use those straps if you do tend to have issues with that upright row. That's gonna help quite a bit, alleviate that stress and alleviate that pain. Speaking of having a lot of weight on the bar, this next exercise is gonna be the King Ghidorah of ego lifting. So you want to use this Czar of Monster Island lifting as a drop set. And this next exercise is going to be a shrug. Now, I know in the past I have talked a lot of trash on the shrug. A lot of guys you'll see doing shrugs here, or they're doing their rolling shrugs like this. But there's a way to go through using the shrug as a mechanical drop set. So you want to use a large amount of weight. I know I only have 70 kilos on, but please don't judge me. Now, I'm gonna get set here. Think about this is at the end of a shoulder workout or an end of an upper body power workout. I'm trying to get as swollen, as pumped as possible. So I'm gonna go here, boom, 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 and again. Remember, like sets of 30 plus, okay? All trapped here. So I said mechanical drop set. Pretend I just did 30 there on a barbell. Now the next thing, right away, remember, it's slow twitch. Your traps are slow twitch, so it can handle a large amount of stress. I'm getting into now, trap bar. Another set of 30, okay? Finally, I'm gonna finish this off and I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna try and smack dumbbells. Heavy though, heavy, 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 heavy. Here, so barbell, trap bar, dumbbells, that's a mechanical drop set. And if you do 30 reps of each thing, you only really have to go through this one time and those traps are gonna be filled with freaking blood. But none of these exercises monster up to the destroyer of worlds, which is going to be our next exercise. And actually, it isn't a single exercise that we're gonna use to try to get those kaiju type traps. It's actually 3. And if you think these trap developing exercises are legit, you should check out our 700 plus exercises that we have inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. And if you want one free week of training, all you have to do is go over to the Apple iOS store, the Google Play Store, or peakstrength.app, and you can download Peak Strength today to get that monster yoke. Here is the Slayer of Worlds, the absolute monster and killer that's gonna get you that big, huge yoke. We're gonna start off now with this exercise 1 of this final killer. But this is going to be the horse pull. And I guarantee you, unless you've watched our other videos, you've never done this, okay? So we're gonna get set and we want this wide grip, okay? Almost like a snatch grip, or exactly like a snatch grip. We're gonna have hip flexion, okay? Here, come up, boom, and we wanna react quickly. Boom. Boof, 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 boof. Now, time under tension is key. And if we're moving something explosively and we have that slow eccentric, the eccentric portion is gonna lead to some muscular damage. That big explosive pull, that's gonna be neurological. Those are some of the key factors behind gaining size and strength. Do this for 4 or 5 sets of 9 to 12, and that's gonna build that up. Now we gotta get into that second exercise of this tricep that is absolutely insane. Exercise 2 is going to be 60 meters of farmer's carry. So you'll be here, I do have straps on, because again, if I can use a little bit more weight, a little bit more load, that's gonna spark that mechanical tension. In the past, I've also talked about how farm dudes and women that when they grow up and they come into the gym here, they're actually freaking strong because they've just been carrying bags of feed or water or whatever it is, wrestling pigs, and they just have that knack because of the mechanical tension that their body has then used to adapt to developing that farm strength. Whew, and my traps are starting to fill up with blood. And then that's gonna take us into exercise 3. Beep. Now, for the true freaks, you guys could do all 3 of these exercises in a row, like I've mentioned, but you don't have to. You can do all these exercises by themselves and still get a monster freaking yoke. This third exercise, this is in the garage strength lore. This is the movement that we've talked about as being the absolute best movement for developing those traps, okay? And this is something I'm gonna challenge a lot of you out there who don't do weightlifting movements to try this out, because you'll learn how to be a little bit more coordinated. Now, don't click off the video because this one's freaking phenomenal. No, God! So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 5 pumps, which you'll see, into a snatch. And you could do this for 3 to 4 reps. You could do this for 3 to 4 sets. Oh, wow, that was way heavier than I wanted it to be. I'm gonna go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Because remember, freaks, if you wanna become a champion, you've always gotta cultivate your power. Peace.